Gurudev, we would love to invite you to address us and to share some words and thoughts with us, please.
Your Excellency, Governor Michel Duques, Mr. Nagu Tone, and distinguished leaders, professors, and participants in today's program. I accept this honor from the World Global Forum, Boston Global Forum for World Leaders Spirit and Peace and Security. And I dedicate this honor to all the volunteers who have been tirelessly working for peace of various NGOs around the world. Peace and security often are said in one breath. Though a lot is done for security, very little attention is given for peace. Peace building is absolutely essential. And the root cause of conflicts had to be dipped at the very bud. And for this, peace education I feel is very essential. And inspiration through the forum like Boston Global Forum, which upholds the moral, spiritual, and ethics of human existence, plays a very important role. Peace cannot come just by words, it has to translate into action. Where there is conflict, we need mediators who can build the bridges. And people, if we have to build bridges, they have to be free from any type of agenda or bias. Just compassion and clarity in action will make the way forward. A moral and spiritual force is essential to quell the distress and mistrust that our society has formed over the years. I'm glad that artificial intelligence world society is joining hands in this, very noble cause to bring peace as a reality. The purpose of technology is to bring comfort. And we have to question ourselves in this age, are there enough comfort? Yes, physical comfort is there, but mental health crises have skyrocketed. One of the biggest challenges today, we have mental health issues. Whether it is in the school, in school districts or the college campuses, at the prison, at home, everywhere in the world, depression and mental health issues, suicide issues are rising. So it's very important to bring peace to the doors of people. Darkness cannot come to light, but light has to go to the dark where there is darkness. And this is an effort that all of us will have to be engaged in making it reality. So I once again thank the forum for honoring me with this award, and I am sure this forum will continue to inspire millions across the globe to walk the path of non-violence, to walk the path of peace, and to give this message of clarity in mind, purity in heart, sincerity in action as the very theme or goal of one's life. In short, I would say, let us all dream for a violence-free and stress-free society, a disease-free body, a mind with happiness and joy, and a heart full of compassion and resilience, and a creativity that brings more joy and happiness in society than destruction. Thank you very much for being here. Let's all wish our Governor happy birthday.
Also, Gurudev prepared for 70th year. That is, he in the 70th year.
Next year.
Next year, but next month you will become 70. So very special year.
So now that we have concluded the ceremonial parts of our afternoon, it's a real joy to be able to engage in dialogue with Gurudev. And I invite all of you to ask questions, make comments, so that we can have a discussion. In particular, around the themes that we've articulated today and around which we collectively work, namely how it is that we can enhance world pro-social and diminish antisocial behavior. That's the way I tend to think about it. I'm a psychiatrist and a neurologist and a brain scientist. And as we heard from Gurudev, there is a mental health crisis right now. We're in an era where we're understanding more and more about the brain, and yet we're also in an era where we can integrate such new knowledge with ancient knowledge from different cultures around how it is that we can transcend our selfish concerns, transcend our differences, and attempt to be the sorts of bridges that Gurudev just described. So maybe I will start by first wishing Governor Dukakis well and thanking him for joining us. And do we have a mic on Gurudev so that we can hear what he has to say when we're having this discussion? And do we have a mic to pass around the room? We have one mic. So perhaps I'll... Oh no, that's fine. So perhaps I'll start. And we had a chance to chat briefly inside, for which I'm grateful. And I almost want to repeat a version of the question I posed to you because I think it's central, and I think that your answer was enlightening. And that is, what we've seen, what we know is that you've actually not just spoken about these things, but you've gone to centers of conflict, and you have worked with the two opposing sides in what many would seem to think are intractable conflicts, often with ideologies where there's a totalitarian or an absolutist view that one side feels that it is right and it is the moral one, while perhaps committing very immoral acts in the name of it. And then the other side feels the same way. And so where does one begin? How have you been able to be effective in mediating conflict in such situations?
Yes, it very tricky situations. Whenever you need to play a role of mediator, I feel it's something that where you simply first listen, not to say anything. You listen to the other side, and then basically the trust that need to be rebuilt again. Once the trust is built, all other arguments, will all fall in place. Usually in resolving a conflict, the normal procedure everybody does is, you sit with the problem. You ask both sides to come up with their problems, and you sit with the problems. And with the problems, you only get more problems. I would take a different view. I would ask both the parties, this is the problem. What is your solution? That's what my ask for them is. So they come up with 10 solutions on their own. Because it is their solution to their problem. Someone else's solution never fits to someone's problem. So they need to find their own solution. So when they come with those solutions, I usually sit with both the solutions. If there are 10 solutions from both sides, 5 may match, 6 may match, 5 may not match. So we go with wherever it matches and then deal the other ones which don't match. For that, by that time, trust gets built. And one more thing I would say, we never give up. Because conflicts cannot be resolved overnight. We need to have infinite patience, and we must know we convey more through our vibration and presence than through words or arguments.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So I'm going to take this mic and walk around now, and Gurudev is going to have another mic. So we will open it up. Please share your thoughts and questions. And yeah.
Jai Gurudev. Gurudev, my name is Mudit Sharma, and I have been following you for quite a while. My question is actually related to the mental health or maybe emotions. So I hope it's audible. Okay. So like when I was very young, I used to feel like the year is like an endless, or like month is like the endless. But like from the past few years, especially I would say after COVID, I feel like the year starting and ending very quickly. I feel like it was January and then suddenly I'm in the November or December. So is it like with everyone or is it just with me? I'm not sure. The years are flying very, very quickly.
That says you are very happy. When you are happy, time flies. When you are unhappy, time appears to be too long.
Other questions for Gurudev?
Excuse me.
Huh?
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Sri. It's a real honor for me to see you again in Massachusetts. I first met you when you came here in 2016. So it's a blessing for all of us in Massachusetts to have your presence. My question for you is that you always taught us compassion and peace. How do we inject or provide some compassion, some peaceful idea in the head of dictators like Mr. Putin, who is invading Ukraine, or Mr. Xi, the supreme leader of China, who threatened Taiwan? So how do we make some stand into their head regarding peace and compassion?
Well, let me tell you, I don't have solution for all the problems. One thing I would say is that, many times people have a threat perception which may not be correct, which is not the reality. When you see that someone is a threat to you, you overact. And that's how most wars are happening. I would say WAR, war is worst act of reason. For every act there is a reason, and this is the worst act of reason that people come up to. Here again I would say we need bridges, people who do not label any party, but be neutral and connect everyone and clear the misunderstanding, clear the threat perception, which is again an illusion. You see?
We're in an era now, and part of the Boston Global Forum is to combine this sort of wisdom with the scientific understanding that we're gaining with things like brain imaging. And your words, Gurudev, are so prescient. We have studied the threat systems in the brain, in the human brain, that are evolutionarily conserved from reptiles and even earlier. And they're adaptive evolutionarily, because if a lion is running at you, you have to gear up and fight and flight and so on and so forth. But what happens in certain forms of mental illness and in society through manipulation is that the threat system gets inappropriately activated. So that which is normally adaptive starts to tell the rest of our brain and our mind that there is indeed a threat, and as you say, that's an illusion, and yet it seems real. And so your techniques, I think, are very powerful to be able to help people to recognize such illusions and not be governed by them.
Yes, not to be rattled by. Also, Professor, this another issue that today our population is facing is loneliness. Again, loneliness is also related to certain, dopamines and other chemicals in the body, hormones in the body. Here again, meditation has been found to be very, very effective tool to get over the feeling of loneliness. In spite of having every good possible situation around you, you still feel nothing is good. Is all your own perception. And this perception needs to change. Similarly, our expression, we don't know how to express ourselves better. Our emotions are not expressed well. So one feels stifled and restricted inside. So two things happen. One is ability to perceive better. Improve perception. Second is improve expression as well. So make others understand what you really want to convey to them.
Yeah. Professor Nancy Donovan in our department is a geriatric neuropsychiatrist, and she has studied loneliness. And at first people said, oh, why are you studying this? This is not hard science. This is a social construct. And she persisted. We funded her. Dr. Singhal would know. And she's done exquisite work showing the biological changes that are associated with loneliness and that even can predispose to things like Alzheimer's disease. problems and certainly worsen it. We are social animals. And social exclusion and loneliness takes a toll. And the other side that we were just talking about is this notion that leads to polarization of in-group and out-group, which again was adaptive at one point when we were in tribal groups, prehistory and unfortunately currently as well. Us versus them, and there's now evidence that the brain processes even moral decisions and judgments differently depending upon whether the person's in your group or the other group. And what you're saying, which is the core of wisdom, is that we are all the in-group, right? We have to realize that, and your meditation techniques, like Sky, work with the parasympathetic nervous system to calm down, reduce inflammation, and the techniques of thinking and the concepts that you share so generously are not dissimilar to some of the cognitive behavioral approaches that we've taken. And what you're teaching us is that this wisdom has been present and needs to be integrated. Yes?
I just wanted to follow up on what you just said and ask, do you have any insights about how we might change the structure of social media systems to make them less tending towards creating polarization?
Yeah, I would tell everyone the social media is inevitable in life, but we should have a judicial use of that. Use it as much as you can handle, number one. And one need not feel so obliged to, respond to every social media response that comes to you. I think it's already with so many fake news and fake information, that feverishness which was there 4 years back, 5 years back, is not there today. It's already wearing off, So I would say people need to be engaged in social media, but also give importance to real life time. Meet with people in real time and engage with people in real time. If you see in a dining table, even in a home, four people are sitting and eating, they're all buried in their own cell phones. So they're not conversing with each other. This sort of disconnection that can happen in a group must be avoided, especially when you are with people in real time. What social media cannot give you is the vibration, or it cannot stimulate that, dopamines within you and serotonin in your, physical presence, not just by social media.
Gurudev, thank you for gracing us with your presence here today. Love to hear more about your broader worldviews with the AI, particularly as human intelligence may be surpassed by artificial intelligence soon.
To me, AI has a different connotation. I say it is absolute intelligence. Don't forget there is an absolute intelligence. We are in an ocean of intelligence called consciousness. And so we need to be in touch with that as well. And AI, of course, we should take the best advantage of AI and see that the misuse of it is prevented.
Other questions, comments?
Yes. Hello. My name is Mona Shamsi, and hopefully I can bring the AI World Society to the Middle East next year and host you guys. My question for you is, as AI becomes more powerful, what ethical principles should guide its development and use, and how would you unite the Indian community with the Middle East?
Say that again, please.
As AI becomes more powerful, using your principles and teaching over the decades that you've been spreading around the world, how would you unite
the Indian community and the Middle East community with your teaching for the next generation?
With using AI?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, it will be very useful. See, I am talking to you now in English, and people in China can hear this in Chinese. People in Mongolia can hear this in Mongolian. AI has done tremendous, made a tremendous difference and contributed to connectivity in the world. For example, in Russia, though lessons are being taught there was someone always translating. Now people can hear in my own voice, and I was told, people who are 70, 80-year-old people, and they are so moved because I could speak to them in their language. So this type of connectivity increases. Dissemination of information is faster through AI. All this is for the advantage of human communication and evolution. At the same time, there are a lot of misuse of it also. Someone can take my voice and do some fake thing and spread some fake thing. That's also happening. And that is where, the moral and ethical values need to be integrated with AI.
Gurudev, though you just said that you don't have solution for everything, but I want one solution for humanity from you. That can you please devise a method to human start finding difference between need and greed? Because that's the reason of all the ruckus right now in the world.
That's exactly what the spiritual lessons do to you. It just makes you aware of your needs and takes the greed away from you. Greed is because of short-sighted, understanding about one's life. When you see life from a broader perspective, greed has no place there. Hatred has no place there. So we come from a very different perspective to life and to society.
So, good afternoon, Mr. Shankar. My name is Rosie. I would say that I'm quite associated with Boston Gurudev. First of all, I want to thank you for your dedication to world peace, and what you have done is extremely phenomenal and extraordinary. Truly, thank you. My question is not quite AI based or mental health related, but I've always wondered, as a kid, where do conflicts come from? And I do believe that some people are just evil by nature, which is okay, they were born evil, they were born malicious like that, and they just want to kind of fight people. So my question is, since do you think that a society where there's absolute peace and love can be obtained, or do you think it's just really unpragmatic, but heroes will be born like you, who are willing to dedicate their life into making the world a better place?
I would like to say here it's not only me. We all have the ability to bring something. In whatever scale, it doesn't matter what scale it is. But each of us can bring some comfort to people around us. And that's what we want. It's in our nature. Right? If we create conflict, if we get into a fight, it is just because we are stressed out. Someone is stressed out, they don't behave normal. And because it becomes normal because they don't know how to get rid of those stress. Number one. Second is, I would say, every child born on this planet has come to this planet as a bundle of joy. It's full of bubbling enthusiasm. Nobody is born on this planet as a bad or evil guy. You see, what we can see as evil is only due to circumstances, situation. and wrong understanding or lack of understanding. These things made a person like that. So inside every culprit, if you keep in there, you will find a victim crying for help. If you heal the victim, culprit will disappear. That's my experience. So I see only goodness in every individual, and only their behavior is bad because of their condition. And they can be deconditioned.
Good afternoon, Guruji.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for your presence. It's a moral dilemma, the question I'm about to ask, and I think you would be the best vessel to answer this question. Artificial intelligence companies are now allowing users to seek comfort with the platform that they're devising. Would it truly be problematic if they would seek divine intervention or advice from those platforms? Because all these, the metadata that is being fed, it is a mirror image of us, what's happening in society, whatever. With the goodness comes its flaws as well. So if people start going to it for divine advice or spiritual advice, would you, as someone spiritual yourself, see that as problematic for us as a society? Just a thought or question, sorry.
Spirituality cannot bring any problems. It only can aid human evolution and wellness, well-being. Having said this, I would say, yeah, whenever you have to face some challenges, you need resilience. When the failures come, you need to be resilient. And spirituality gives that strength to get over, those hurdles in life, and to be resilient when you have to face failures. Third is it will also keep your energy and enthusiasm higher. In this sense, yes, I'm always ready for, bringing spirituality in people's life, because that is what can bring them inner peace and happiness. Does this answer your question?
I'm truly sorry, Guruji,
Tell me.
for following up. My question was, would it truly be problematic in terms of human civilization or harmony, whatever it is, that once that we start relying on intelligence created by us to give spiritual advice on a personal level? Because these days the models are being trained to your personal preferences. So like if I'm supposed to use it, it starts answering questions to me the way I want it. So a form of bias starts creating.
It only gives you what you're feeding, right?
Exactly.
So you cannot totally rely only on that. You have to use your the intelligence, the absolute intelligence that has been given to you as well. So it should be a partial reliance in artificial intelligence. You see all the chat GPT and all this, they say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. They do have a right to make mistakes, so you must not take it as a gospel truth. So they do err a lot of time. Does this answer? You find errors in them. Sometimes they give information which is erroneous. And so you need to look into your own intuitive ability. You have something called intuitive ability. That's what we are missing. Along with absolute intelligence, we should not ignore or neglect our intuitive ability, which is a must in any venture you do. And here is what the spirituality helps. Spirituality helps you in enhancing your sharpness of intellect and highlighting your intuitive ability.
Thanks so much.
the ability to see spirituality as transcending any one religion and looking for commonalities is a very healing thing for the world in and of itself. And so it's something I think that everybody deeply appreciates about your teachings. Other questions or, yeah.
Gurudev, I have a question about communicating the spiritual values to young people, because they have a question how relevant are these values to our practical life? And when they see the world in action in society and they see people with not so obvious spiritual values winning, they want to know the importance of these values and the relevance for their practical life.
First of all, we should make a difference between the religious values and spiritual values. Often, the line is very thin and very blurred, and people confuse the religious practice as the spiritual. You go to a temple, church or mosque, you do some rituals, you think you are very spiritual, and you have done your part of it. This is not going to help them. Of course, to some extent it may give them some solace, but ultimately for them to grow in their intuitive ability or their spiritual strength is different. This is what we must make people aware. Again, if you see that in religion, there was only one Jesus, but there are 72 sects of Christianity. There was only one Lord Buddha, there are 36, sects of Buddhism, each claiming they are the real one. And then similarly in Judaism, you have many sects, Orthodox. And Islam, there are 135 sects of Islam. If you see Hinduism, it's countless. You can't even count. That many sects are there. So keeping them aside, they have their own value. I don't say you should be irreligious. They have their values. Let's keep them aside. But spiritual values is something that I would say is the backbone of our ethics and moral, values. You don't want to do something to others which you don't want others to do to you. This is the baseline. In business, I say, in any business, you have a vendor and you have a customer. You don't like your vendors to cheat you, so you shouldn't cheat your customers as well, right? So that is the ethics, that is the backbone of morality. This is what we must cultivate. The character is cultivated through spirituality in an individual. Then they become broad-minded, they become more acceptable, and everything else will flow.
Thank you. Gurudev, I love what you said in your opening remarks about how trust is built more through vibration, through presence, than through words. I wonder, can vibration, energy, presence be transmitted through technology, whether it's a phone call or a video call? And if not, how can we build trust in situations where we don't have the ability to sit around a kitchen table, whether it's our workplaces or our social environments?
I think to some extent, yes. Even through technology also, you can transform the vibration of peace. But I don't know to what extent people can receive it. It also depends on the receptor. Not just one who can.
Gurudev, you have your online apps and you have other mediums through which we experience meditation. But since we're talking about AI and we're here in real life, I was wondering if it would be possible at all to get a meditation by you, if that is something on the agenda.
I think we'll do it another time because they all just had me about an hour ago or 2 hours ago. Okay, done?
Yeah, I didn't quite catch what you just said about what.
For later.
She asked whether we can all
Yes,
have a meditation now.
Yep.
I said we'll do it another time.
Yeah.
Because now just now people all had their meals. So you need to leave 3 hours gap for meditation after you have had full meal.
Great, great. Was there another question here?
It was the same question.
Same question, okay. Other questions, yes?
So congratulations receiving the great awards, and I'd like to know, and please share your ideas. Why do humans count wars?
Why do humans do what?
Why do humans count wars like World War I, World War II? Sounds like humans are expecting World War III, World War IV. So I'm a politician, but I'm also a historian, and I'm curious always. When I was 6 years old.
Yeah. If you ask any movie director, you'd ask them what would be a successful movie. If it's all just peace or there is conflict, they would say when there is fight, that movie is more successful. People love to watch wars. People love to watch wrestling. People love to watch all these things because somewhere deep inside that instinct is there, that survival instinct, and to oppose. If that could be channeled through martial arts, or art and music and culture, then there would be war. Usually if you see people who are engaged in sports, engaged in charitable work, engaged in something to channel that energy, they will not be interested in war. Those who are idle, who do not channel their energy much into it, are only self-centered all the time, they love wars.
So, one of the real challenges is if most places, most people, most schools follow this, you only need a few to cause a lot of trouble. And this is something we've been wrestling with in the Boston Global Forum, and especially with AI, is the notion of bad actors. You can have 1,000 people doing good, and now, especially with technology and AI, you only need 1 or 2, let alone a whole, tyrannical government or something. And then the speed and the scale with which the destruction or the damage or the manipulation can be done is very hard to address. Do you have any suggestions for how we can address that problem? If even 99% of the people follow this path, but the 1%, and they may not be evil, but for circumstances or other things, don't, and now they have these powerful technologies or can wage war. Any advice how we can try to address this situation?
First of all, we should thank them. In the sense they keep you on your toes. Otherwise you will go to sleep. Good people to be active, you need someone who are there doing something negative. So that keeps everyone else more active, more busy. And see, often we find negative people are people with a negative tendency or mindset, they are super active. Whereas people with very positive tendencies, positive mindset, they say, tomorrow, mañana, I will do it later. The sort of laid back attitude you can find in people with good intentions. So I think we should take them as an inspiration to do something good.
Terrific. Yes.
Gurudev, following up on your point that you just made, that positive people have a laid-back attitude. The same carries over in the journalistic sphere, where journalists will not cover you've made peace initiatives from Colombo to Colombia and from Sri Lanka all over the world, and you're here receiving this award. It needs to be highlighted more by the journalistic community, and they just don't make that noise for peace as they do for violence, as to your point also.
Yeah, that was the case for a long time, but today social media has put a challenge for them. It's no longer, no media house can dictate the news. Today social media reigns in, yeah. So things are changing.
Other questions? Comments? Yes?
Just a comment. The question on what World War I and II and III was done by the ex-defense minister of Japan.
I think they lost the count because there were many wars fought before. The historians say in the known recorded history, there was only 293 years of known human history where there was no war. Otherwise, there has been some or other war here and there, but not on the scale of the world.
Very great. Gurudev, my name is Vasundhara. As you were saying earlier, that we should see good intention towards everyone, and I follow that religiously. Sometimes I get comments from my friends that you don't see the other side of people, and you just believe as it is. You don't see what people have intent to do. What would be your advice on that?
Here, of course, we have to keep our eyes and ears open. We can't be naive and say, oh, everything is goody-goody therapy, nothing like that. We have to see the reality. At the same time, see if someone is behaving bad, why they are doing so. What is the cause behind such a behavior? If the behavior from certain person in responsibility is like that, it is because of the wrong information to that person and a threat perception that they are having, which is not correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Yes.
Jai Gurudev. Gurudev, can you teach an AI to meditate? Why I'm asking this question is, if yes, what would a meditating AI look like in terms of when it's answering stuff? Because we have had a conversation about biases, false information, etc. And if not, what is so intrinsically human about meditation and spirituality that a computer cannot?
AI can help you to meditate. AI can help, help you to meditate in your own language and your own time. It can keep you the time and everything. It's a tool. It's not a person as such. You must remember, it's not a person. It's a tool.
Other questions, comments?
I think that's it.
Well, you've been tremendously generous with your time, with your wisdom, and we're very appreciative. I'll give to Twani now, who will tell us what's next.
Thank you, Gurudev. So we move to another very important section, World Leader Spirit Symposium, special commemoration 10 year award, 2015 and 2025. You know, we from this year for celebrate 10 year by the Glory Award, World Leader for Peace and Security Award. We have initiated the World Leader who was awarded by Boston Global Forum. Together, we will make contribute back for the world better in this time, especially in this time in the world. So we will make that the world leader spirit. That means all leaders join together with our BGF AWS family members. We connect with university and many community innovators also to try to do that and not only think, not only act, and we are movement to help, to hope, to contribute solution, contribute action, and more action. So we hope all of us here join us in this very special, very significant movement that and also we name World Leader Speech. And we have symposium, we have dinners, for example, gathering with world leader and discuss and try to find out solution for the world and very challenging issue for the world. We name it World Leader Speech Dinner, something like that. And also World Leader Speech concert with some big concert as a festival of Gurudev do already. We make that is the World Leader Speech concert here, World Leader. So today we have a program and announce we will send all documents to all us and also to public about this very important. We hope you join with us. And now we do for with this program. Now.
So now we're going to transition. I'm wondering whether people would like 5-minute break. So why don't we take a 5-minute break or so, that you could just stand up, read, and then at 4 o'clock we will start in with the next part of the program.
How are you guys?